Hello there, YouTube. These were LED Christmas bulbs. The little piece on there cuts the voltage down. Okay, if you see them on there. These are real glass, they're real thin. These are real cheap. Let's say a brand name, real cheap. Had one of these break taken out of the box. Real thin glass. Okay, I'll show that part what it looks like. Okay, here's what the LED bulbs look like. They're little holders similar to the older Christmas bulbs. I just bend these tangs out straight and take them out. Okay. Now, I know we probably won't be able to see it on camera, but one leg is longer, but sometimes they break trying to take them out. But if you look inside an LED, it's not going to show up. One piece inside that LED is going to look, excuse me, is going to look clear. Inside it's going to look clear enough. One of those pieces is going to be smaller. One side is going to be smaller. That'll be your hot side. Won't show up on camera there, even on telemacro. You won't see inside of there. Okay, what I've been testing these with is, these are 3 volt. A lot of them are lithium. Find them in calculators, watches. Like say this one's a CR2025 3 volt battery, button cell battery. What I do to test them is, you can almost see the green one here and what's hot in there. You just can't. I can see it. You gotta excuse the scanner. It's out of my reach. Let's see if we can reach it. I'd rather have the CB going off. There's some skip conditions coming in. The outside of these batteries hot, which is marked. Where you see this side, that's the negative. I have a holder of an old calculator. If you have a solar calculator that shucks out, rip it apart, this battery's probably still good. Don't ask why they shuck out, the battery's still good and they're solar powered. This nice holder, I took the circuit board off. I'll be able to hook up. This will be the positive, which is the outside of the battery, and the negatives here. It might be opposite what you think in your mind, but this makes a nice holder you can repurpose. Okay, how I test these is, I just slide them on the battery. Okay, now I tested these at 6 volts. When you have enough of these, just stack your batteries up. So you're going positive, negative, positive, negative. You're in a series. You're in a series with your battery. Okay, I've tested these on 6 volts. A lot of these for several minutes. I was doing this last night. Okay, here's what I found. I had some orange ones that were dead to start with. The orange ones were dim. The orange ones seemed dim, some of them did, and they would burn out, and I'd watch them, I actually could smell it. It had a little black dot down there where it actually melted. I think these were the defective ones. And the yellow ones, they're not bright at all. They weren't really bright at all to me in the dark. Let's see if I can get the light out of the way a little bit. It's a good way to test them. If you have enough LEDs, they didn't really cost anything. What I do is I apply voltage till they fry. Then I back the voltage off, and I'll sacrifice one and see how long it'll stay on there. Most of these, except the orange ones, I could run them a long time on 4.5 volts. Then they'd finally burn out. Well, it makes me think there's something in there, how they wire the lights. I just have no idea. The yellow ones would survive, but they just don't have very good color to them. The green ones and blue ones lasted really great on 6 volts. They're really nice. They're not even bad on 3 volts. We'll just put 3 volts to them. They're not bad on 3 volts either. These would be nice to put in a radio dial. Even if you do have to take the case off, if you put this battery holder somewhere on the back, you can put a little box or something. Even if you have to replace the battery, you can buy these for $1 or something. You can buy these batteries on sale. They go in watches. So, instead of the conversion with the resistor and everything to make it down to 6 volts, 3 volts, blue ones look really nice at night. I really like them at night time. Then we'll shut that lamp off, we'll make a little shadow. I got my 100-watt bulb up there on the ceiling above. Blue ones look really nice. So do the green ones. The green ones are the brightest. We'll put a blue one on 6 volts. Kind of weird how they blur out on camera like that. How it puts that little halo around it. But the orange ones, even the ones that lasted a while, I don't like them. Maybe just ain't my favorite color. They just glow like a little orange glow. Same as yellow. They're brighter. They're just not my thing. Now the red. Red would be alright if you needed a warning diode or something, like my power supply when it lights up. Red, hold out 3 to 6 volts, no problem. I had them stuck on here for a long time. Had a couple of these batteries taped together just with some scotch tape so I could just slide the leads over it. I left them lay here on the desk. I'd go back in the house, watch TV, come out an hour later. See if they're still lit. Blue is one of my favorite colors, but great to put in a radio. Here's how they're just like kind of like the old-fashioned miniature bulbs. When you bend the prongs down, they're probably going to break. But if you look on here, here's the hot side. See how it sets lower? It is longer. So if you look in there, you'll be able to tell. You get used to a diode. The hot side's always going to be the smaller piece of metal inside the plastic when you look through it. The ground is going to come over bigger. Looks like a triangle. The hot side's going to be really small. It's just a shame I can't show this on camera. Maybe if I had something black to put behind it. You just can't see. But you'll be able to see when you rip them apart. Just notice the difference if you take these apart. But the longer one is going to be the hot one. It's called the cathode and the anode, and I don't want to mix it up. I can't remember which is which. Terms I'm not used to. You can almost see that inside of there. The different size of it. As you can see in here even on camera. But you'll be able to tell. And if you hook them up real quick and it doesn't light, turn around the other way, do that to several of them, and then keep looking how they're designed inside, and you'll find they won't burn out hooking them up backwards. You can take one like this, and you can hook it up backwards for a second. It's not going to do anything. That's what's nice about it. You're not putting up much voltage. Now these will not light at 1.5 volts. They will not light at all. On a 1.5 volt AA battery, they will not light at all. So we know it takes 3 volts to get them to work. I've taken them up to 6 volts. They work pretty good at 4.5 volts. That would be 3, like 3 AA or 3 AAA batteries. You make a little holder. I like these because they're convenient. And these lithium batteries like this have a good shelf life. You can have these laying around for almost 10 years in the package. They're still good. But you'll find them in some of the watches. Some watches will have this big a battery. But if you find those cheap solar calculators from those cheapy stores and it don't work, you don't have nothing to lose. Rip it apart. You're probably going to find a battery in there. It's probably going to be just similar to this. You can chop that little circuit board out like I did. It makes a nice holder. You got your ground here, positive here to solder to, which that's the outside of the case. There's a little tang over here where the battery slides in. Battery slides down there. Nice little holder. You could put this in some kind of small enclosure. I wouldn't just tape it up or nothing, that's messy. Try to put it in something, a little plastic sleeve or something. You can have this on the back of a radio, CB radio, any kind of radio. It could be a transistor radio or something you've had that never had a light in it and you want to convert it for a light. That's one of my ideas to do with these. I'm thinking about putting lights in one of my older radios with the dial on it. But don't want this too long. So these are real thin. Be careful, you could cut your fingers. I dropped one on a padded. I had a towel folded double on my coffee table when I was put these outside last Christmas, and broke one just hitting the padding. They are very thin. If I can find a broken piece, which yes I can, there's one on the floor. That's thin stuff. So safety first, don't get cut. Wear gloves if you have to. Here's kind of what they look like. Show that again. They'll pull out of there. There's a little T-shaped piece of plastic that comes over here. You can see where I just cut it with the side cutters. You can pull it out. See that? You can just pull it up like this to get it out and pull the bulb out. I kind of cut that off and I slowly worked it out with a skinnier pair of needle nose in these. Push this back out of the way. And some of these had water in them. I took them down in the spring. I had them hanging in the big garage, and some of them had water in them. So I wasn't very pleased with that either, that they collected moisture like that. But LED use less energy. That's what converts it down. I would not recommend experimenting trying to use this for nothing. This is just going to go into the, not garbage, but into the recycle for the copper wire into the recycle. It'll be given to somebody who recycles copper. I will cut this apart because I'm always curious to see what's in it. Christmas lights, modern ones, have 3 wires because the old days they were in a series. If one burned out, in the old days you had to check it with a bulb and everything. So that's why there's 3 wires on Christmas lights now. They continuously work if one burns out. And I did have a couple orange ones burn out. They burned out right on the battery. But I will take this apart just for the fun of it to see what's in it. There's 2 little fuses in here. You can save that and salvage them for another set of lights if you keep them marked. All these Christmas lights have a different type of fuse. Under your cover, I'm sure most people know, I could open this up. I got these out and they did not work. I took the fuses out and tested them. I tested for continuity in here, from here to the terminals where the fuse went, the other side of the fuse, because the fuse are good. These did not even work anymore. There's where you can plug another side in the back. I had this covered up because this part was outside. Just covered up to keep the snow and moisture out, but they did not work. After they laid around, they did not work. So junk. I got a brand new set in the box. I bought 2 sets. I'll probably junk them out for the LEDs too. They're only $12. I mean, you could pay up to $2 for an LED in some catalogs. Buck something, couple bucks. I'm just going to junk them out. There's probably was 30 lights on these. You got like 5 blue, 5 green, 4 or 5 orange, 5 yellow, like 5 red. You got less of one color. I know there was less of one color in it, but I come out with a nice little pile. Like 5 of each color. I think there was like 1 less. It's just how they make it, how many feet long it is. I know for display stuff I need to put something on it besides glass, but you can see how everything, enough that I got them piled up here. Save some of these holders. You can reuse them. If you think you're going to use them with the holder, don't take them out. Once you bend these prongs, they'll bust off getting them out of there. They make them shorter, but you can still solder to it. So there's another tip. If you want, you can always solder your wires and leave them in this holder. That way you got a handy little holder for it. You can put it in anywhere. I wouldn't recommend using the holder that came with the light string, that socket, because it's probably going to be junk like most when I look down in. It really didn't look that good. It looked really cheesy, black crow look. It just did not look good. When you look down in the socket, you'll probably see, if you've used them, they don't look very good inside. But at least you have this to solder the wires to. You can always scrape them a little bit, scrape a little bit cleaner, you're going to solder. Remember, the longer one's always the hot. You can tell within the socket that it is. This one's longer at the top. Of course, you test it first. Here's that little T-piece. Like I said, you can pop it up and pull it out. By the time you pop it up once, it's about gone. A couple more wiggles, it'll be broke off. That's what latched it in there. So to make that little video, if somebody wants to play around with some LEDs, somebody's got a set of LED Christmas lights that quits working, or if you want to spend the $12, you might even get them on sale. If they're crappy enough, they probably lowered the price this year. LED lights are getting to be a new thing at Christmas time. But thought I'd put this video out there early. I'm sure people are going to be coming across them. Fun to play with. You don't have to be an electronics expert or nothing to play with little LEDs. You're just playing with batteries. You're not playing with nothing dangerous. My heater's kicking on, so I'm done. Thanks for watching.